and welcome to the 15th edition of Sports Hub. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Modern Sinkala. This is a program which gives sports personalities a chance to share their stories. And tonight's program, we have interesting guests. Most of us were not around when they were competing, and they are still competing even up to now. So I'll introduce them later on. And you can be part of the program by calling the numbers that will be displayed on the screen. So every starting of the program, I show you the photo to see whether you know your sportsmen and women. And last week, there is a photo I showed you in case you didn't know who the person was. So today I'll reveal that person. He did a lot for Zambian football. He was part of the COSAFA Cup winning squad in 1997. He was also supposed to be part of the 1994 team, which reaped a silver medal at the Africa Cup of Nations in Tunisia, but he was expelled. So I'm talking about Johnson Bwalia. I'm sure most of you remember him for those ferocious shots when he's playing for Zambia. He was nicknamed one-man commando because of his shots. So that's Johnson Bwalia, born in 1957. So he's now based in Switzerland. That's where he is. And yes, most of you remember him for those shots. Even in 1988, when Zambia beat Italy by 4-0 at that during those Olympics, he scored one of the goals. Kalusha scored a hat-trick. Johnson Bwalia scored 1 goal. So that's him. So for today, I have a video for you. I want you to identify the teams that were involved. The teams that were involved and the competition. So let's see this clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon and Chipre.
Okay, which teams are involved in that clip I just showed you, and which competition was it? I'll be so glad to hear from you. The numbers you are using to call me are 0211 25 30 25, 0211 25 30 25. The other line is 0211 25 08 43, 0211 25 08 43. I'll be so happy to hear from you. So before I introduce my guests, let me just run through some of the results that came from the weekend, and I'll start with rugby. The Zambia Rugby Union round 12 results. National League on Saturday, it was Lusaka 17, Red Arrows, who are the league leaders, 29. Red Arrows, Chiremoneka Tavaleangala, this season they had to lose a game. Green Eagles 6, KPF 3. Diggers 34, Nkwazi 17. Nkwazi were really whitewashed in this game. And in the President's League, it was Nchanga 24, Ndola 17, Chibuluma 6, Kansanshi 30, Ron 13, Hunters 24. So let's now look at how they are standing on the table in the National League. So Red Arrows on top with 47 points, followed by Mufulira Leopards 35 points, Green Eagles 28 points. So these are the top three. And Green Buffaloes, things I think have not been well. They haven't been competing. So you can see that they're right at the bottom. But Lusaka, the one so-called powerhouse, not so much of a powerhouse, maybe it's a weak house now. So that's in rugby. Let's now look at the Midlands Basketball Association Week 9 results in the masculine league. It was Hawks 74, KSM Giants 57, Nishati Denvers 34, Napsa Hurricanes 8, Nishati Denvers 37, Napsa Hurricanes 84, Munali Suns 59, Matero Warriors 63. In the feminine category, Unza Hanis 56, City Falcons 12, Hotspurs 24, Napsa Breeze 58, Nishati Shells 41, Matero Magic Sparks 43. So those are the results. So some of the games were postponed. We are told there was power outage, so that's how come some of those games were not played. Then let's see how they are standing top 3 in each of the leagues. In the masculine league, so Napsa Hurricanes on top with 17 points, followed by Green Buffaloes on 15 points, Matero Magic on 14 points. That's top 3. Then in the feminine category, Unza Hanis on 16 points, Dolphins 14 points, Napsa Breeze 13 points. So that's what is happening. So more games to be played this coming weekend. Let's now look at the CAF Champions League. On Saturday, it was Zesco United 2 and Royal Leopards of Eswatini 1. This meant the game ended 2-2 on aggregate, but Royal Leopards of Eswatini progressed to the next round via away goals rule because they scored a goal here in Zambia. And then Zanaco 1, Akonangi of Equatorial Guinea 0. Then on aggregate, it was Zanaco winning by 3-0. And Platinum of Zimbabwe 0, Sagrada Esperança of Angola 0. On aggregate, it was 0-0. They went to penalties, and that's when Sagrada Esperança won by 5-4. That's on penalties. Then Sunday, it was Almerek of Sudan 1. Then Express of Uganda 0. On aggregate, it was 2-2, but Almerek of Sudan progressed on away goals rule. So here is what will happen in the second preliminary round. So Sagrada Esperança of Angola will face Royal Leopards of Eswatini. So this is projected around that weekend of 15th, 16th, 17th. Then Almerek of Sudan will face Zanaco. Quite a tough side. It's not very easy for Zambian teams when they go to Sudan. So all the best to Zanaco. They are the only team now remaining in the CAF Champions League after the elimination of Zesco United. Then in the CAF Confederation Cup, it was Young Buffaloes of Eswatini 0, Red Arrows of Zambia 0. On aggregate, Red Arrows won by 2-1 because they already did the business here in Zambia. So that's how it ended. Then on Sunday, it was Cabo Warriors 1, CFFA of Madagascar 2. So sad for Cabo Warriors losing at home. So on aggregate, CFFA won by 2-1. Then Mafunzo of Zanzibar 0, Interclub of Angola 3. On aggregate, Interclub won by 4-0. So how they'll meet? So Cabo Warriors are out. Red Arrows will go on to meet Primeiro de Agosto of Angola in the next round. Then CFFA of Madagascar will meet Interclub of Angola. So interesting matches coming through. So it will be on the weekend of 15, 16, 17 October 2021. In the MTN Super League Week 2, on Saturday it was Lusaka Dynamos 0, Konkola Blades 0. Konkola Blades collecting 4 points from 2 games. Nkwazi 0, Green Buffaloes 1. Goal scored by George Ngoma in the 59th minute. Buttecon 1, Prison Leopards 0. The goal scored by Brian Muila in the 89th minute. Chambishi 1, Indeni 1. Kelvin Chomba scoring in the 42nd minute for Chambishi, and Matthew Stolopa scoring for Indeni in the 45th minute. Forest Rangers 4, Kafue Celtic 1. What a whitewash for Kafue Celtic, who just received sponsorship, $30,000. The goals were scored by Eric Chomba in the 14th and 28th minute. Quadricola scored a penalty for Forest Rangers, and then Jonathan Munalula, former under-20, scored in the 88th minute. The only goal for Kafue Celtic was scored by Albert Kangwanda in the 20th minute. Sunday, it was Power Dynamos 1, Green Eagles 2. Wolves for Power Dynamos continuing, and they've lost 2 out of 2 games. And in the second tier of the first Premier League, that is the first Eden University National Division 1 League Week 2, it was Lumwana Radiance 3, Muza 0. Goals scored by Josephat Kasusu in the 20th minute and 79th minute, then Benjamin Mukanda in the 30th minute. That's a Lumwana Radiance whitewashing Muza. Then Young Green Eagles 1, Zesco Malite Rangers 0. The only goal scored by Adamson Mulao, and so it means Young Green Eagles now is confirmed they'll be playing Division 1 football because they lost the case. Mufulira Wanderers 0, Young Green Buffaloes 1. So it's 2 out of 2 for Young Green Buffaloes. The only goal scored by Alan Chirwa in the 60th minute. Goms 1, City of Lusaka 1. Jonathan Tembo scoring for Goms in the 55th minute. Henry Chapotame scoring in the 70th minute for City of Lusaka. Nchanga Rangers 2, Trident 1. Rabson Piri scoring in the 10th minute and Emmanuel Chembe scoring in the 60th minute for Nchanga Rangers. Trident's goal came from Biuma Kashitu in the 90th minute. Jumulo 1, Kaisa 0. Alexander Aboage scoring in the 20th minute. Napsa Stars 1, Kito United 0. Daniel Adoko with the goal in the 51st minute. Then on Sunday it was Police College 1, Luapula Green Eagles 2. So 2 out of 2 for Luapula Green Eagles. Then in the first Women's Super League Saturday, it was a rescheduled week 14 match. Green Buffaloes Women 1, Zesco Ndola Girls 0. The only goal scored by Memory Ntala. Then rescheduled match week 16, Red Arrows 2, Indeni Roses 0. Grace Chanda and Margaret Bielemu scoring for Red Arrows. And finally, in the English Premier League, week 5 games, it was Newcastle United 1, Leeds United 1. That's on Friday. Saturday, it was Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Brentford 2. Burnley 0, Arsenal 1. So Arsenal collecting the second win this season. Liverpool 3, Crystal Palace 0. Manchester City 0, Southampton 0. Norwich City 1, Watford 3. Aston Villa 3, Everton 0. On Sunday, it was Enoch Mwepu 2 and Patson Daka 1. That's in the English Premier League. So Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Leicester City 1. Then West Ham United 1, Manchester United 2. Tottenham Hotspur 0 and Chelsea 3. So those are the results coming from the weekend. Hope you enjoyed wherever you were, whether you're watching from home or maybe listening on the radio or watching on TV. So for now, we dance to a song done by Kabova, General Ozzy and Ben Blazer before I introduce my guest. And also General Ozzy, video shot from OYDC, so Bola, Zambia. Time for me to introduce the guests in the studio. Quite interesting guests, Madalas, veterans. Thank you for staying with us. Sorry about that sound hitch. I was just saying that no, time for me to introduce my guests in the studio. They are veterans, and the first one is Azim Ticklay. Well, he's been riding for over 30 years now, and he's still strong, running, and even this weekend he will be racing. That's Azim Ticklay. I'm sure you are just used to seeing his Toyota Land Cruiser, but now he's here in flesh, in person and flesh. Thank you so much for coming through, Azim. We also have another veteran. This one is a veteran tennis player, Duncans Mtonga. Well, he is he's still playing here and there, and also a coach. He's grooming young tennis players. So these are the two guests that we have. I can't wait for the challenge, ball juggling and arm wrestling. We see, by the way, Azim Ticklay was born in 1960, that just 4 years before Zambia got independent. And also, you know, Duncans is also like a year older than Azim Ticklay. So thank you so much for coming. You can come and join me here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
I'm so curious to hear where the two gentlemen started from. So the number you're calling us on is 25 30 25. So the numbers are on the screen, so you can call us. I want you to tell me the video, the teams which were involved in that video. If I can just have an overlay of that game. So when you call me, tell me which teams are involved in that game and what competition was that. Yes, those two teams, which ones are those and what competition was it? I'll be so happy to hear from you. The numbers are displayed on the screen. Meanwhile, in the studio, I can already hear that people have already started calling. But in the studio, I have Azim Ticklay, a veteran motor rally driver, and also Duncans Mtonga, who is a veteran tennis player and also tennis coach. Let me start by talking to Azim. How did you start motor rally?
First of all, thank you very much for recognizing me after such a long time. I came here in 70s, 78, 79.
Wow, so we are talking about 40-something years.
Yes. That's
a long time.
Years, when Satwan Singh was the first Africa champion.
All right, I'll come back to you just a minute. We have Matthews Longo from Charleston. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Sports Hub.
Yes, how are you?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
Fine.
Great.
Yes, I'm watching.
Awesome. Okay, so are you able to tell us the teams involved in that clip?
Yeah, I'll try. That is Cameroon
Yes.
and the Africa Cup of Nations.
Cameroon and which team?
Zambia and Cameroon.
Okay, which competition was it?
Africa Cup of Nations.
Africa Cup of Nations?
Yeah.
Okay, well tried. You are partly right and partly wrong. So
Okay.
yes. But stay on the line so that you give us your number, and then we'll be able to call you at the end of the program or even tomorrow.
All right.
Right, that's a caller from Charleston. Thank you so much for calling us. So Azim, you were just saying the last time you came here was in the 70s, and you've seen that the studio has even changed now.
There is a tremendous change here. I think if I'm not wrong, there was only one camera around that time.
Really?
Yeah, and we got privileged to go and see His Excellency Kenneth Kaunda, because when Satwan won the first African champion, we were also the service crews then. So we were officially invited to go and see His Excellency the President Kenneth Kaunda at State House. I have even got the signature of his when he called us there, because it was an official invitation. And if we had to go to State House those days, it was something, to see the President at State House. Yeah.
Wow.
So I can see it's very tremendous improvements that has been taken at ZNBC. And plus, let the Bali fix, I think, said it, and I heard it, that you've been free to talk. And that's very good, because these were some of the things that we used to have problems in our days. It was segregation. And that's why I'm saying, where did you pick me up from? Because I was born in 60, I came at 70s, and I'm almost 62 now, 2020. I've come to our ZNBC first television in Zambia.
Indeed, and this man you're seeing here has achieved quite a lot. He's been very consistent. He participates in all the motor rally events with his Toyota Land Cruiser, nicknamed Kabila. Others call him Sekuru, others call him Sekuru. We'll be able to find out how the Kabila name came about. But tell us how you started motor rally.
Well, you first asked me also where I was born. I was born in Mazabuka, a place called Zambia Sugar, like you all know. And then from Mazabuka, I came to Lusaka in about around 75. And I had a passion of being a racing driver. So I used to see Satwan rallying and going to East African Safari or TVs. You know how it is when you are young. I was also like young, those that are calling me today, Sekuru and what. I was also young, like them, trying to wish if I could get this thing.
Because Satwan was born in 1943 and in 1960, so maybe 23 years difference.
Yes, so Satwan was very young then, right? And I came to Lusaka. I was looking for a job in Lusaka at my young age.
Okay, I'll get back to you. We have Jackson from Kanyama. Jackson, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Sports Hub.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, give us your contribution on the program.
Yeah, now I want, you said which team on this trip?
Yes. Which teams were playing in that game, and which competition was it?
I can see it was Orange Cup of Nations. It was Zambia versus DRC.
Wow, okay. Which year?
Though I was young, a little bit young. It was 1990 something there.
1990 something. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for calling. Stay on the line so to give us your details and the number. All right, so that's a caller from Kanyama. All right, so it's quite interesting that you were inspired by Satwant and you were just hoping, despite being born in the village, you still wanted to be up there to compete.
Yeah, because I mean, I had a passion for motorsports. Right? I was a very good footballer. I used to play for Meridian Bank, right? I was very athletic. I'm a mechanic by profession. So in my small time, when I was growing, I really wanted to get this job done as a mechanic, a good mechanic. So the potential was in Lusaka. Mazubuka was too small of a town to get a job or whatever for exposure. Because the models and everything used to change. We had, for your information, I don't know, maybe some of them don't know. In our young days, there was a Fiat assembly plant in Livingston. We were making cars in Zambia. If you, for your information, if you don't know.
Yes.
And I used to see cars going from Mazabuka. You know, it was Fiat 127, 128. 132, 131, they were all good cars, made in Zambia by the Zambians. But everything is finished now. So I had a passion to come to Lusaka, and I said, no, I want to try and see if I can upgrade my standard in motor mechanics. And that's how I came to.
So which one was your first rally car?
My first rally car was Datsun 1600, right? And that Saturn was also in a Datsun 1600. He was racing in East Africa that time. And those cars, Datsun 1600s, were vehicles, strong vehicles, tested in East Africa. And that is how I was now looking for another car. And when I started, after finishing servicing.
Okay, so we'll hear your next car from Datsun. We have Chavinga from Chingola. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, too bad we lost you. Please call us back. The numbers are right on the screen. Call us back. Chavinga would want to hear from you. All right. Okay, before I get your second car, let me hear from Duncans Mtonga. How did you start your tennis?
Oh, very interesting, Martin. First of all, I was a ball boy. You know, if you know what a ball boy is. Ball boy, picking the balls.
Okay, so ball boys are not only in football, but in tennis as well.
Yes. If you've been watching like Grand Slams or other tournaments worldwide, you see those girls and boys who pick the balls, stand up, you know, in the corners at the net. So that's how, you know, I started with. And then I was inspired and encouraged by one of the chairmen. By then, that was 1969, 1970, Mr. Collins Meek. So yeah, he said, why don't you start, you know, playing as well? And I said, well, so I was trying, and that's how it started.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, that's how I started. And
okay.
yeah.
So who were playing in those days with you?
Those days, like seniors were.
So that's you there. Is that you?
Yes, that's me on the left side. Yes, and that man there, Mr. Hewitt. Yes, Hewitt, not Hewitt. Mr. Hewitt. Yes. Yes. Indeed.
Okay. Was that a tournament or it was?
We were just practicing by then.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
Who is that man you are with?
Mr. Humit. He was a German man.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's late now.
He's late now?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. That was that picture. Thank you so much. That picture was taken in 1983.
That's 1983?
Yes, 1983.
So those were your uniforms that we are putting on?
Yes,
I can see,
you know,
uniforms have transformed now.
Right. See, those days, as if you know, they look very, short and small. Nowadays, they are, like bowed, bigger. But that's the size. It's time.
Okay.
Yes. That's how I started. And just to tell you, I used to be the only black junior player at that time.
Okay.
The only black junior player at Lusaka Club.
Okay, so I can see, so you've now become a coach. So I'm jumping the gun. I wanted to talk about that later on. So you are now a coach, and you running through the young ones. I can see they are busy.
Yes.
Okay, so who are those kids, and how many kids do you have now?
I have about 15 kids. The one on the left is David Williams and Nicole Pele, the girl.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so so we'll come back to that coaching job later on. But when you started, who inspired you to do tennis? I know in those days, I know football was more prominent that time. So how did you just think of tennis?
As I said earlier on, just like in golf, caddies, they learn more. They even know who is a better player and who is hacking. Okay, that's golf's language. So in tennis, ball boys, they learn more and they even know who is a better player, who is a champion. I knew like the rules, how to play before I even started actual playing competitive. So the ones who inspired me by then was Mr. Maxwell Sichula. Yes.
Mr. Maxwell Sichula,
Yes.
who's been also chairman of the National Sports Council of Zambia.
Yes. He was our first black Zambian chairman of Zambia Lawn Tennis by then. We used to call it Zambia Lawn Tennis. But now we just call it Zambia Tennis Association because we don't have lawn most clubs. It's just, it's all weather courts, clay. That's what we have.
Okay.
Yes.
So what were some of your achievements in your playing days?
I was the first black Zambian junior champion of Lusaka Club.
Wow.
Yes, that was in 1970.
1970s?
Yes, 1970.
Okay.
I was 11 by then. Yes. That was my greatest achievement, which I still remember and I don't forget it to stay. Being the only black junior player, junior. And the adults, the seniors, there were only 3 by that time. 3. Mr. Maxwell Sichula, Mr. Bill Mulenga is late now, and then a year later on came Mr. Austin, Mr. Mwelwa Chibesakunda, the former clerk of the National Assembly. So these 3 were regular blacks, Zambians playing at Lusaka Club. It was all whites by then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, that was in the 70s.
1970, that's when I became the first
What?
junior champion of Lusaka Club.
All right, I'll get back to you. Chavinga is back from Chingola. Thank you so much for joining us. What's your contribution?
Hello?
Hello, good evening, Chabinga. Too bad we lost Chabinga. Please call us back. Please call us back. All right. So yes, Duncans. So you were, you said you were among the few indigenous Africans or Zambians to play tennis. Why do you think there wasn't so much interest among Zambians?
Okay, like at Lusaka Club, it was mostly just whites. It was exclusively whites club. Yeah, in the lab, we're talking of 1970. Up to about 1977, there were still few blacks, you know, playing. But then they were inspired now, seeing that, oh, this is a junior champion. So others started coming in. And then in 1975, I became the Midlands junior champion.
Wow.
Yes. 75, then 76. 77 were the first. That's other thing which I really won't forget. We were the first juniors to play international tennis under Mr. Maxwell Sichula. He organized to play Botswana. So we had to call the Botswanian team which came, and I was elected a captain for the Zambian team that time, 1977. Yes. So that one I can't forget. It's,
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll come back to you later on. Let me get back to Azim. So Azim is now in full attire. The only thing missing is the helmet. So we wanted to see how he looks when he's inside that Toyota Land Cruiser. So you are telling us you started with a Datsun, then after Datsun what happened?
From Datsun I went to Peugeot 504, right? I raced in a Peugeot 504. After the Peugeot 504, I bought a car from Satwan, which was a Subaru Legacy. That was an Africa souped-up car. You could take part in FIA rallies, like the way that we so-called these ones that go for FIA rallies in France, where Satwan went, Mona went, Mamad Issa went, and Leroy went. So you have to have a qualified vehicle in that category for you to race and take part in those events. Okay. So I got the Subaru Legacy. I became very good driving. I had a lot of experience. We had races in Chingola, we had races in Zimbabwe. And as time went, I got better. And then in about 85, when we had the tragedy in Makeni, where they shot my sisters and everybody, and I just gave up everything after that.
So how did you move to the Land Cruiser?
I jumped into the Land Cruiser because the vehicle that I ended up getting was the Subaru Legacy. There were no spare parts here. That was the only car that came in Zambia, but there were no agencies. So since I didn't have the Subaru Legacy with me, I said, what am I going to race with? Then I thought, no, let me just jump in a Land Cruiser, because it was also very expensive to get vehicles then. Each rally car was almost $30,000-$40,000, and we didn't have it. And then you find when we were coming and racing with Satwan and everybody, competition was getting stiff. Guys from Europe used to come here. They used to beat us, you know. And since they were beating us, I said, look, you guys, now that I've also seen myself grow up in motor rallies, seeing my experience, I said, look, there is no way I can beat these guys. I'm trying my best driving, but these guys are beating us. I said, no, I mean, what the hell? What should we do? Then after looking at the events, I went outside also Zambia to go and race and everything. I saw the cars, I saw the people. I said, no, the only best thing we can do here is we need to get fair competition. So when we had fair competition, we said, look, we need cars as good as the ones that are coming from Europe, if you want competition. Saturn was almost 8 times Africa champion, and he has all the experience. I learned a lot from Saturn. I also serviced him. We went to Zaire, we went to Rwanda, we went to Burundi, we went to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe we went when it was Northern Rhodesia, you know, and when everything was settled after Smith and everything. The first rally, it was in the 70s. We went with a Fiat Abarth, and we went also to Zaire with his VW Golf. And Satwan could drive in Zaire. I even remember he came in 3 wheels because of the other side, the shock absorber broke.
Wow.
And you know, that is experience now.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you see, you don't just earn it. You have to go through it. If you don't go through all this, what we have gone through, then you cannot become a rally driver. I'm sorry.
True. So what are some of your achievements and why are you called Kabila?
I don't know where this name Kabila came from. You know, I just up to today I don't know. But people used to just call me Kabila. They used to call me Bali. They used to call me Sekuru. Right now I'm very famous in Sekuru because I had written there Sekuru. Now I think in Zimbabwean language, Sekuru means old man. So I put it there. So everybody started calling me Sekuru, Sekuru. I said, okay, fine, Sekuru. But now I told them, change it to Bali. So yes, we'll try and put it. Kids also saw me growing. You know, I mean, others used to call us Balis, like I said, after Kabila. And yes, I really have a passion for motorsports. And when I saw that we wanted real competition, I said to guys, the best way is to let's approach the government and bring vehicles that we can compete, fair play. Then we show them what we are made of. And believe me, that assistance that we got from the government of bringing duty-free vehicles, today, I must say that it's about what, 15, 20 years now ago? And our children in Zambia, indigenous Zambians, have gone and made Zambia wonders.
Okay. So what are some of the achievements since you started over 30 years ago?
Achievement, yes, there's a lot. I mean, first and foremost, like I said, we had to bring the right car to race. We've achieved. I was an Africa champion in number 2 in 1985. From that time, I couldn't get the chance of getting the car fixed and everything. Nothing went. I went now with Toyota. I've been driving with Toyota, this same Land Cruiser, for almost about 25 years now. And I've never had, how should I say, a breakdown. I had only one breakdown. It had a problem with the distributor.
And you're always finishing your rallies.
I am 100% finisher, and I can tell you we have a rally over the weekend, and I am going to show some of these foreigners that have come what I am made of. You see, I made the guy from South Africa kneel down. His name is Guy. Right? I made him kneel down. Yes. I told him kneel down. I said, who is the boss? He says, boss, you are the boss. I said, okay, go tell your Muzungu friends that I'm coming.
Okay, let me get to Duncans. So you were junior champion, but you never got to be number 1 among the seniors.
No, because I was when I started coaching. Okay, I was already 21. You know, if you've seen nowadays champions, it's different from coaching and competitive playing. So nowadays play at 17, you must be either senior champion.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. You are speaking very good English. Did you win any scholarship to the United States or to the UK?
Not really. That's what everybody asks me. Not really. But, you know, I grew up with the foreigners. I grew up with the Americans. I used to stay with Mr. Walter Howsett. I was an American working for UN, and Mr. Bob Abramson. Yeah, so that's how I got this accent. And I used to be the only, you know, as I said earlier on, among 20, you know, children. I'm the only black.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Before we go to challenges, I want to know what you people will be up to or what you hope to achieve in future. Let me start with you, Azim. When are you retiring from motor ride?
When God takes me. Until then, I'm still fit. Right? I mean, like you asked me, what did I achieve? I achieved seeing indigenous Zambians high in the sky where it comes to motorsports, which is FIA.
Okay.
Right, and because of these vehicles, I said you need to challenge. You need to have the right competition of vehicles.
Okay.
And if you see today, Mamadisa already went to Africa, FIA. Muna Singh, Satwan Singh, right?
Yes.
Leroy. We need more Zambians to go to Zambia and show FIA that we have Zambian.
Okay, thank you, Azim. Duncans?
Yes, like my colleague has just said, until we'll still be coaching.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so for now we go on a musical break, and after that, challenges. We want to see who will win on arm wrestling or ball juggling between Azim Ticklay and Duncans Mtonga. So we go on a musical break. Okay, so that was Pompi, Mag 44, Ebo Chungu, and Tio with that song Chipolo Polo. Okay, so I have to give you the answer to that puzzle I gave you. So that game was a World Cup qualifier match between Zambia and Cameroon. So the game was played in Limbe. That was in 2018, and that game ended in a 1-0 state of affairs. Collins Mbesuma scoring the only goal for Zambia. So that was during the World Cup qualifiers, and Wada was the coach then. Okay, so it's time for challenges now. I have these two gentlemen, one from motor rally, another one from tennis. One was born in 1960, another one was born in 1959. So who will challenge the other? So let me sanitize you. Okay. All right. So we'll start with arm wrestling first before ball juggling. So you rest your arm here nicely. There, yeah? Okay. Yes. So when I say go, that's when you go. I'll count up to 3. When I say go, then you go.
Like that.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, go. Duncans up against Azim Ticklay. And Duncans is showing his prowess. I think he's coming back, Azim. It's amazing. He's trying to bounce back.
Don't cheat.
They're quite strong. Okay, so you can also hold. You can also hold this for support. Yes. Oh, Duncans. They keep bouncing back. This one seems to be a draw. Okay, this one is a draw. Okay, so it's ball juggling now. We start with Azim. Okay, you can go. The floor is yours. 1.
What? You mean tapping?
Nicely. Okay. Yes. 1. No. Okay. Duncans, it's your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Duncans, you are the winner. At least you won one. Congratulations. So this has been the show. I was hosting the two Madalas, Azim Ticklay and Duncans Mtonga from Tennis Sekos. Until next week at the same time, my name is Modern Sinkara.